Hi Stitchers! Well, it's been a month and it's time for my monthly WIP update. This is the first time I've done an entire month in one video, so I'm hoping it's not going to be too long for you guys because I did manage to get quite a bit done this month. So I'm going to start with my FFOs. I managed 6 FFOs for the month of June, which brings my total up to 15, and I'm really rapt with that because I've never had so many FFOs in all my stitching life, and I'm just so pleased that there's just so many other options out there to finish projects now. It just makes me really excited that I know that not everything has to be framed. There's other ways of finishing things. So we'll get started. The first FFO that I wanted to show you was one that I couldn't show you last month. It was the card that I finished for my mum's birthday. So I'll insert a photo here. And this is just a cute little card that I made for Mum. She likes lavender, as do I. And I asked her to take this photograph for me because obviously she lives 8 hours drive away. So that was just a card I finished for her. That was finished back in May. Next FFO, some of you may have already seen my video up on this. It's my Life's a Stitch pincushion, which I finished obviously into a pincushion. It's little beaded trim. If any of you are interested in learning how to make this, I have put a tutorial up on YouTube. Very easy, and I forgot to actually mention in the tutorial, but you could easily incorporate a hanger in there before you stitch up that seam. So great way to finish your Christmas ornament as well. And a lovely lady, terribly sorry I've forgotten your name, mentioned stuffing this with dried lavender, which I thought would be a great idea as well. So thank you for that. Okay, next lot of FFOs were my Country Cottage Needleworks Cottage of the Month series that I've made into cubes. And again, I've done a tutorial on this. I think a lot of you have already seen it, but if you haven't, please go check it out. So this one is April, and I've tried to do these with different ribbons at the top just to, you know, create a little bit of difference about them. I decided to finish April off in purple. There's the back. And I was really lucky to find this ribbon. Every colour, it's got purple, pink, yellow, green, and a little bit of orange in there. And all those colours are actually on that design. So I was super happy with that. So that one's April. And then we have May. May was my favourite so far to stitch because I just love that aqua and pink together, so pretty. So I finished this one in pink, plain pink back, with the blue ribbon. So happy with how that turned out as well. And June. And this is probably my favourite cube finish. I originally showed you guys this one on the last video with a yellow ribbon, and then while I was in Lincraft the other day I found this ladybird ribbon, which is absolutely perfect. So I decided to take off the yellow ribbon because this, as I mentioned in the video, this whole thing is temporary. You can certainly change things around if need be. So that's those. And I have a framed finish. My Needleworker. Try and do this so you don't get a glare. So happy with how that turned out. I managed to get this frame at an op shop for $5. And I just love the beaded, I don't know if you can see that. It has a lovely beaded trim to it, and I thought, oh, I'm going to put that aside in my cupboard. I'm sure I'll find something for it. And when I finished Needleworker, I knew I wanted it to go in a black frame because I think Mandy's, I might be wrong, but Mandy O'Callaghan, I think her frame is black, and I really liked it. And I just took it to the framing store and I said, well, I want to use this frame. I need a new mat board, I need new glass. I would like you to stretch it because I did try. I really tried to do this myself. This linen was a bugger. It was horrendous to try and get that line straight I was more than happy to pay someone else to do that for me. And I just have to show you down the bottom corner there, my very first signature. And that is thanks to Letitia, the crafty curator. Thank you. I saw your lovely signature and I decided that I'm no longer going to put C Mazio in the year on all my finishes. I wanted something with my initials. So I went through an alphabet book and I found something and I just designed it to look the way I wanted it to look. And I'm very, very happy with that. So this is going to actually go up in the corner where I do all my stitching, because that is my stitchy spot. Now, as far as FFOs go, I hope to have 2 more FFOs minimum next month. One should be July Cottage, as long as I get that finished in time, because I will be finishing that as a cube as well, and the cube finish is really easy to do. I have a tutorial on how to do those, as does Tara C. Please check out her video as well. She has a different way of doing it, and you know, both ways are awesome and great ways to finish off your cross stitch designs. So the other FFO I hope to be able to show you next month will be Blue Dragon. I have taken him to the framers, and it has taken me a while to get to this stage because I wasn't entirely happy with the yellow orb. I've washed him obviously and he was nice and clean, but I could still see, because the yellow orb was done in a very light shade, you could see where I had finished off the threads at the back. It just looked like a dark shadow. I just really wasn't happy with it. So I decided to unpick the whole orb area and just completely restitch it, which meant that I had to rewash him and re-iron him. And now I'm just so happy I've done it, because now I'm completely happy. I just didn't want to have him framed and be up on the wall and I'd be forever looking at that dark area that only I could see. But you know what it's like when there's something that you can see and it really bugs you. So I decided to just spend the time on it, fix it up and be completely happy with it, which is what I've done. And I have been down to the framers already and looking at mat boards, and I'll tell you what, there are as many different colour blues in mat board colours as there are DMC colours, and really, really hard to make a choice on that. But I think I've narrowed it down now, so in the next couple of days I will be heading back and making my decision, and it should take about 2 weeks. So I'm hoping by the end of July I will be able to show you Blue Dragon all framed and up on the wall, which is very exciting. Okay, so let's get on to the WIPs for the month. WIP number 1 is my Celtic Autumn, and I will insert a picture here of last time you saw her. Okay, so that was day 1. Now I have spent another 7 days on her, and there she is. I'm going to do a close-up for you. Really loving the colours in this design. So happy I went with the conversion, because to me those oranges and greens are what autumn is all about. I can't wait to bead this. It's just going to be magnificent. But yeah, so I look forward to working on her this week and trying to get a whole stack more done. And I have already decided, I had mentioned in a previous video that I hope to have a lavender and lace and a mirabilia on the go, and then I've decided that I would actually scrap that plan and alternate. So I have a lavender and lace and then do a mirabilia and then do another lavender and lace. So that is pretty much going to be the plan, but with a slight difference. When I finish this one, instead of starting another mirabilia straight away, and I only decided this within the last week because I was doing my order for my next lot of supplies, and I just couldn't decide which mirabilia I wanted to start next. I have quite a few charts, and I you know, asked everyone at home. They all liked different ones, which didn't help me. And I decided, you know what, I've still got that unfinished object, that Christmas stocking in my cupboard that is bugging the hell out of me. So my decision was made. As soon as I have finished my Celtic autumn, I will be finishing that Christmas stocking before I start a Mirabilia. And it's good timing because now we're at the middle of the year and starting to think about Christmas, and I would really like to get that out of the way, because the plan was for me to have a Christmas stocking for each member of my family, and I haven't even finished the first one. So I need to get that out the way, and then I can make plans for all of the others. Okay, so that was WIP number 1. WIP number 2 is my Save the Stitches Blackwork journey. I have a little bit of a funny story for this month. I'll insert a picture here of last time you saw it. So the picture here shows blocks 10 and 11 completed. So this month I managed to get blocks 12 and 13 completed. So this is a massive thing. So block 12 is this one with the motifs across the middle there, and this is block 13. Show you a bit closer up. This is the one that's really hard to get photographed because of the black. Now, the funny story, and Mackenzie, the lovely array, and Claire, Pyrex Stitches. Yes, you can have a little giggle now because everything's okay. So when I took this off the scroll frame, because I knew that I'd finished for the week, I laid it down on the floor to take my photograph. And when I realised I was at block 13, I was like, oh, there's 24 blocks in this. That means I'm over halfway. So I was really excited. Oh, that's brilliant. Hopefully I can get this finished by the end of the year. So this will be a year-long project, which is what I had aimed it to be. Then as I was looking at my fabric, I was like, wow, the first half of the design goes past the halfway mark of my material. And then panic set in. And mind you, this was 12:30 in the morning and I should have been in bed. But there I was taking my photos for Instagram. So I had to get the tape measure out. And I measured. Now I think I've mentioned this before, I'm a measure 3 times, cut once person. I'm very, very careful about how, you know, if I ever have to cut my material, hence why I've left that bit on the end there, because this one had an unusual start to it. You started in the top left corner for this, and I just wanted to make sure I wasn't going to run out. So according to Liz Armand, the designer of this program, I went by the measurements that she recommended, except my fabric is 1 inch shorter. But it worked out in my head and on my calculations that I could still have my 3 inches at the top and 3 inches at the bottom. So I measured out my 3 inches and I got my gauge out and I measured it all out before I stitched anything. And I was completely happy. Yes, that is definitely going to fit. That's where I'm going to start. So when I finished this for the week, I measured from here, the top point, to here, being the longest point of part 12. I didn't include part 13, it's part 12, because then there's another 12. And each area is the same size. So I took that measurement, whatever it was, I can't remember now, and then I put my tape measure here, and then I measured down. I don't know if I can hold this back far enough for you to see. Okay, so there's that much fabric left. It fit, but with that much on the bottom. And then it was all panic stations. And I was like, oh my goodness, what have I done? It's not going to fit properly. I mean, I know you can still frame it with a small amount. It's no drama, but I wasn't happy with that because I had measured it and I couldn't understand where I'd gone wrong. So I got the whole pattern out and I was making sure that I hadn't stitched anything twice, and time was ticking away. I ended up rolling it up, going to bed, and I think I laid there for about 2 hours thinking about this damn thing. What have I done? I can't believe I'm not going to fit that on there, and I was so stressed about it. I had the worst night's sleep. So the very next morning I sent Liz an email because she's a lovely, lovely lady. And I said to her, my fabric, it's not going to fit on my fabric, and what have I done wrong? Has anyone else had this problem? Anyway, I got a lovely reply back from her. Obviously she's in England, so it's a different time frame, and she sent me a reply back, and basically she said that she had just opened up her email at 6 a.m, read what I had written, dropped everything, ran to her studio with her ruler, and then took about 8 or so photos of her work with the ruler on it for me. I can't believe that she dropped everything for me. And she said, yes, it will fit. And so I read her instructions, looked at her photographs and thought, no, it's still not going to fit. It's still not right. And I had it laid out on the table the next day and I was remeasuring it. And then I realized what I did wrong. So when I measured from here to here, and then I remeasured from here to here, I forgot that this is an interlocking pattern. So measuring it from here was incorrect. I should have taken the measurement from here. So the next part of the design will have points like this, which will then interlock into there. And you wouldn't think that would make much difference. It does. It makes 2 inches of difference. So thank you to Liz Armand for dealing with me and my major stress attack. And I'm so happy now that I don't have to worry about this. But I probably still will. Probably still will right till the end. Keep measuring it because that's how I am. I get stressed out over tiny little things. But thank goodness for that. Anyway, so I don't want to look at this for a few weeks. So I'm glad I have my rotation, because that wasn't fun, let me tell you. Okay, so that's it for that one. So WIP 3 is my Heaven and Earth Designs mini bath time, and I'll insert a picture of what she looked like last time you saw her. Okay, and this is her now. So please excuse my mess of parked threads. And I managed quite a bit, actually. I only have a couple more rows to do here, and I have finished the whole top section, which is page 3. So I'm really, really happy. If any of you are interested, this is stitched. This is obviously the parking technique, but this is stitched using the Continental tent stitch, and I have just put up a tutorial on how I did that. So if you're interested, take a look at that. But just remember that this is how I actually do it and not necessarily how everybody else does it. But you might be able to get some, what's the word I'm looking for? I've got a mental blank. You might find it interesting. Anyway, so, and I did mention in this one, in the tutorial, that I have been working this in columns, and I have actually now noticed that the columns are showing on my design. So if I hold this up a certain way, can you see it like that? Maybe not so much like that, but when you tilt it a certain way, there, you can see it like that. You can see where I finished the side of each grid because I worked downwards in columns. So if you don't want your piece looking like that, and let's face it, who would, take my advice in the tutorial and don't finish off your columns in a straight line, jagger them. I don't know whether I should just continue doing it the way I'm doing it now so that the whole piece looks that way, and then maybe it might look like it's supposed to, or whether I should take my own advice and do the jagged edge. Not sure, but front on, it's really not that noticeable. It's not to me anyway. So This is only going in my bathroom. It's not going to be a gift for anybody, so it really doesn't faze me too much this time. But I have learnt from it, and that's, you know, what it's all about, isn't it? Learning these things as we go along. This is my first time using the parking technique with the continental tent stitch, and it has been good. It's been quick. It's been easy. But I will change the fabric count next time. This is 28 count, and I would actually like to do it on probably a 25 count next time, because this is just a little bit too bulky for me, and I'm realizing it now that I'm so far in that I really don't want to do it on this smaller count again. So next time. But anyone that's interested, and because I do get a lot of questions on that, do some test stitching of your own on different fabric counts and using different amount of strands of cotton, and see what you like the look of and what you like the feel of. That's all that matters. There's no rule as to how many strands you have to use. It's completely up to you. Okay, exciting. Now, WIP 4, I had a new start this month. Some of you that have already seen my last video know that I showed, I don't have a picture. I'll insert a picture of what this will look like finished. Now this is called Motherly Devotion, and it's by Jayne, Netley, Mayhew. And I'm stitching this on Colour Cascades Clouds Lugana. It's called Clouds, and it's 28 count. And this is how much I got done in a week. And I love this. And you know what? When I look at this, when I look at the baby giraffe, to me, it looks like a little kangaroo at the moment. But confetti, it's got more confetti than a Heaven and Earth design. Seriously, starting to wish that I had parked it in columns. Would have gotten a lot further. The amount of confetti that is in this little guy's face is ridiculous. But there's no back stitching, so it's there for a reason. It's there to give the piece a lot of detail and depth. So this is obviously the mother's face, and her eye will be up here somewhere. But I'm just loving it. This fabric is gorgeous to stitch on. I was a bit concerned what it would look like, because when I got the overlay done, it looked like blue and pink. And I thought, well, clouds aren't really pink, but it is white. And I don't know if that's showing up as white here, but it definitely looks like a sky. And that was the look I was going for. So I'm very, very happy with this design, and I'm a bit sad I have to put it away for a few weeks. But before I started stitching it, I estimated it would take me about 2 weeks to work on it. I'm thinking I'll have to add probably another week now because of all this confetti. It's really slowed me down. But it's going to be beautiful when it's finished. So now I also had a new start this month. I haven't done enough to really show you anything, but I will show you what it will be. And this is, I'm not sure if she watches my videos, so I hope not, but this is for my great niece, and she's the first great granddaughter in our family, so she's very special, and all babies are special, but she's just extra special. And I am stitching a christening card for her, and I found this really lovely one. I wanted something with the cross on it and with the words christening, and this is from Cross Stitch Collection magazine, issue May 1998, which is a really old one. But I have decided that I'm going to change it a little bit. Coffee Stitcher has influenced me to start making some changes. So I'm going to move christening to the top, and then I'm going to put her name and the date that she was christened at the bottom. And I've also bought some jewel effects in a similar colour to the thread here to add a little bit of sparkle, because, you know, needs a little bit of bling to brighten it up. And that will be stitched on, I'm stitching mine on 32 count. I think they said 28. Yes, I'm stitching mine on 32 count linen in an off-white or antique white. Antique white. So that should be interesting. And this one has Algerian eyes in it too. It's not just cross stitch. So it should be really pretty when it's finished. So I'm looking forward to that. I also had another new start, which I started yesterday. That is a surprise. I can't mention it because the person that's for, I know, does watch my videos. So once that's finished and been received, then I will show that and chat a little bit about that one. Okay, so that's it for my FFOs and my WIPs and my new starts for this month. Now I just want to discuss my plans for July. So in July I'll be continuing on with my Country Cottage Needleworks series, and this one is July. And Stitchy Mum, who is stitching this series along with me, Stitchy Mum's on Instagram. Hi. We are going to be joined this month by Melanie, otherwise known as Da Boss Watkins. Howdy! She has asked to join us for the July cottage. So that will be awesome. There'll be 3 of us stitching that. So as I said before, I hope to get this finished in time to actually complete the cube. And at least get to see it out on my dresser for a week before August arrives. I have another couple of new starts for July. July has 5 weeks and I have 4 WIPs, so I've decided there's also a couple of other months towards the end of the year that have an extra week, so I've decided to incorporate a 5th WIP to work on those weeks, and possibly a couple of afternoons if I can squeeze them in. One is my great niece that I mentioned the christening card for. It's also her first birthday, and I've decided to stitch her up a birth sampler. That hasn't arrived yet, so I will show you that when it does. So that will be WIP number 5, and that will be, the time for that will be shared with Joan Elliott's advent calendar. I think I showed this in a prior video, so I'm really looking forward to stitching that one up. These are tiny, tiny little cushions, and I just love stitching that pincushion so much. So all these will be completed the same way, except they have red or green or gold beads. They all vary. So that'll be a nice little project leading up to Christmas. So things should be very, very busy next month. It just seems to be the usual for me now. Okay, I have a massive haul arriving in July. Placed an order from a website that is in America that is closing down, so I managed to get a few DMC bargains as well as some hand-dyed threads for some future projects that I have this year. And I placed an order with 123 Stitch, which has just been shipped, and I have my fabric of the month. I do have one that's already arrived, but rather than just show you 2 things, I'll incorporate the whole lot into a haul video. Maybe I'll just do a separate haul video all to itself. So I'll also have the July fabric of the month to show you for that. Some fabric that I've picked up for a cube for a month next, one of the cottages of the month for next year. It was just some really cute fabric that I couldn't say no to. Some other, I've ordered a couple of odd charts. I've got some needle minders coming, and I know I said I was on a stash diet, didn't I? Well, in fairness, everything that I've ordered from my haul from these 2 websites is all for future plans. So there's nothing new there that I've said, oh, that's really cute, I want to have that. Except there is something from Brooks Books that I have coming that wasn't on the plan, but it is now. So look forward to showing you guys that next month. I checked today, I'm 7 subscribers off of 2,000. It's just, it blows my mind. You guys are amazing. Can't believe you're all interested in what I have to waffle on about each month. I do enjoy sharing my tutorials with you, and please note that those tutorials are also the first time that I have ever made those particular items too. which is why I don't do them live. Yeah, so all those photographs, that's all my first experience. So it's really nice sharing that with all you guys, and you've left some awesome comments regarding those and other videos that I've done. So I really appreciate everything that you guys say. I love watching all your videos. I had caught up. I've gotten slightly behind again. So I have to spend some more time watching all of you guys. So thank you again for subscribing and liking and commenting. I really appreciate it all. And I think that's it for this WIP update this month. As I said, I have the whole video coming and maybe another surprise video between now and the end of next month. So we'll see how we go. Have a great stitching day, everyone. Take care. Bye.